Hello everyone. The feature of today's video is to learn how to construct a box plot through the use of Excel. Now, if you recall, box plots are used as a graphical representation for quantitative data. It can be continuous as well as discrete, but perhaps a little bit more relevant in the case of continuous data. You may also remember that a box plot will provide information as to the location of the first and third quartiles, will also or should also indicate the position of the median, and although in general you may observe where the max and the min values of the variable is, there are occasions where that won't necessarily be true. However, you'll see potential outliers. Now, I have my file all set up here where the price of a sample of homes is displayed, as well as other characteristics of these homes. To draw a box plot or to conduct a box plot, I suggest that you select the variable for which you want the box plot to be created. So I'll select variable price. I'll include the title in my selection. So I've highlighted, I've selected all of the data under price. Box plots are located in the insert menu. And although you may not see the box plot option in the suggested or the most frequently used graphs, you will find it under recommended charts. Go to all charts and scroll down until you find box and whisker. So here's the advantage of selecting the data before going to the graph menu. As soon as you click on box and whisker, you see Excel has understood what you want to do and with what data. So I'll type OK. Obviously, like most graphical outputs from Excel, things are not perfect, so you may want to change the title to make it a bit more relevant. So distribution of price of homes. So you can use your instincts here. There's a little label at the bottom, which is a 1 in this case. That's to distinguish different categories when there are some. In this case, there's only one category, which is all of the homes in our sample, so you can remove, if you prefer, that first category. Now, if you take a quick look at the box plot, you'll notice that it has a central box, which is shaded. The central box itself is bounded below by Q1, so the first quartile, as well as Q3 at the top, which is the third quartile. So within the box itself, you'll see a line separating, not necessarily in the middle, the box itself. That's the location of the median. And in this particular example, you'll observe that the median is closer to Q1 than it is to Q3. That would indicate that the distribution of homes is not symmetric. Also, an indication that there is some form of asymmetry in the distribution of prices is the little x. The x in the box itself is the location of the average or of the mean. And in this example, the mean and the median are not located at the same position, also displaying the fact that there is some asymmetry. At the bottom, we have what we call the whisker. So we have a limiting line and no dots below it. That would mean that the location of that bottom line is the minimum price that has been found within the data set. At the top, however, the whisker that you notice happens not to be the maximum because we do observe dots above that line. The dots themselves are the potential outliers. So homes whose prices are so far away from Q3 in this case, so above the third quartile, that they are considered as potentially extreme or outliers. The whisker itself is located 1.5 times the interquartile range above Q3. Okay, so this is something that we will obviously discuss in class, but there are rules as to where the whiskers are placed. So that's a nice way of seeing how the price of homes or your continuous variable, are distributed. Another nice feature of box plots is that you can compare the distribution of a variable for different groups. So what I've done is I've separated the price for homes that have a poor exterior condition, an excellent exterior condition, and a good exterior condition. They are in columns J, K, and L. So I'll do pretty much the same process here. I'm going to select all of the data, and here we have to be a little bit careful because the columns don't necessarily end at the same place. So I've selected the range of data, and I'm going to produce a box plot for each one. So I'm going to go back to Insert, go through my recommended charts, all charts, and go to Box and Whisker. And this time, notice how we have a box plot for each category. It is possible to add labels, a little bit more tedious to do in Excel, but still those are some things that we could discuss eventually in class. Now the data itself, or the box plots, are in the same order as the columns that we appeared. So the first box plot is that of houses whose condition were poor. In the middle are the prices, is the distribution of prices for homes whose outer condition was good, and in the last category, excellent. In fact, when you move your mouse, you'll see appearing is a little explanation that this is associated to price poor. Price, I'm trying to make it appear by moving my mouse slowly enough. Okay, so non-responsive, but that's okay. Probably the first thing you'll notice about this particular example is that there's not a big difference between the three box plots. So that would potentially indicate that the exterior condition of the house does not influence very much its price. Perhaps other factors are more important. Even when it comes to max mins or outliers, we see that there is a lot of similitudes between the box plots in each of the categories. So there you go. That's a quick and healthy way of creating your box plots.